Welcome to the video. So yeah, the Purge. Quite the series, if I say so myself. The concept, kind of silly, but at the same time, when executed right, actually turns out pretty good. I mean, the Purge is... The funniest thing about it is that the Purge itself is actually, like, there's talk of it happening. There was like, oh, well, they're gonna make it to where all crime is legal and this and that. I was like, that's absolutely ridiculous. And then I read like that in certain neighborhoods in certain cities, they literally have made all crime legal, and I'm like, well, that's just something else. But the whole deal with the Purge is that we've had, 5 of these things, with a 6th one on the way. And here's the thing about it. The franchise it's still making money. Because the first one only cost $3 million, the second one cost $9 million, the third one cost $10 million. And out of all of those together, they made well over $300 million from a $22 $22 million investment. That's ridiculous. That is crazy. Look at that. $53 million budget for all of them, and the overall numbers, they speak volumes. $533 million. And of course, the reception as well.
They've done pretty good, despite the fact that I stopped watching them after the first one because I didn't care anymore.
Well, I will say this: the first one is the worst one.
Really?
Yes.
That's surprising because they all look stupid to me after the first one.
Well, I thought so too, but then as I kept watching, the second and third ones actually bring a lot more to the table than what I thought they would. Especially in well, here's the thing: there's always bland social commentary, which I hate to say it, but is all over the place. But Anarchy and an election year are very much worth it, and it's because the performances in them are actually really good. Whereas The Purge, it's just I feel stupid for knowing the characters. I feel stupid for knowing the characters, and I really wish that they wouldn't make stupid decisions. Yet they do. And we must suffer for it. But anywho, yeah, so the whole deal with The Purge is that it is basically an interesting concept, but executed pretty scattershottedly. But I guess Doug has a few things to say about it.
I haven't seen it since it originally came out in theaters. That's the last time I ever saw one. As far as I remember, I didn't hate it. I thought it was okay, but it wasn't anything that made me excited to go see a sequel, and they put sequels out,
No, that's fair. That's how it is. But I will say this, I remember watching this one and enjoying it. I went and watched the second one because it was part of a date, and I wound up enjoying the second one more than I did the first one. It's a weird thing, whenever a filmmaker actually looks at the criticisms, the legit criticisms of his previous work, and actually works to make improvements. Now, albeit, I will say that the jump from quality from the first one to the second one is quite elite, but the quality from the second one to the third one, I think the third one is a little bit better than the second one, but the second one is way better than the first one. It's weird, but it's weird how that works. But anyway, The Purge, Doug Walker, aka the Nostalgia Critic, has done a video on it, and I guess we're gonna watch it and see what old Dougie Fresh has to say about it. So here we go. What you got for us, Doug?
This intro seems different from other intros I've seen.
This was a different era.
Okay.
I
saw Angry Joe on there for some reason.
Yes. Well, Joe and Critic used to collaborate a lot. They used to belong to like that guy with the glasses.com.
Didn't realize that.
And yeah, this is 7 years ago.
Oh, okay.
It originally aired in.
I thought he had only done this recently for some reason.
He re-released it because the original one got taken down because of copyright. I remember hearing about that. He bitched about it on his YouTube channel for a little bit. This was right after Blip got shut down, and he had to start trying to find other places to post his stuff. Huh?
Usually I have to take something to see shit like this. What the hell are you guys doing?
Preparing for the new law they're about to pass.
What law?
The one that'll abolish crime.
What law?
Yeah, will spread chaos in its wake.
What law?
It'll ethically destroy what humanity stands for.
What law?
The law to split up Pinky and the Brain.
What?
That's not a law.
It could be.
No, it can't.
It makes so much sense.
It clearly doesn't.
It just seems like the road America's going down.
It's amazing how much it's not.
And how would you know, Mr. Expert?
Because it has nothing to do with crime. Crime is about breaking the law for your own personal gain. And this, amazingly, has nothing to do with that.
It doesn't matter. We've set up security perimeters all around the studio just in case it causes worldwide panic.
I suspect it would cause worldwide indifference.
But haven't you seen The Purge?
Purge! Fuck! That dumbass movie everybody fell for.
Hey, if that could happen, so could splitting up Pinky and the Brain.
It's not fair. Just as they're legalizing gay marriage.
The Purge wouldn't happen. It never could happen. And that's why it's so baffling and it's such a success.
He says that, but and that's the weird thing about like these cities where they basically have decriminalized grand larceny and theft and all that. It's like, what's next? Murder? Like sexual assault? Who knows?
With its sequel having come out and having it be #1 again at the box office, well, almost #1.
Damn dirty ape!
The Purge is one of those surprise hits that literally nobody can identify with. The idea is the not-too-distant future has basically abolished crime because one night a year they make crime legal. An interesting idea for a dark satire or maybe a clever comedy. But no, the film plays it up like this could really happen, and that we shouldn't let it happen because apparently we're too stupid to realize it's a bad idea. Just look at how ridiculously serious it takes its advertising. Yes, nothing like a version of Oh Beautiful being sung to blood gushing, innocent killing, homicidal psychotic slaughtering families. Now if a gay or ethnic person sang it, that'd be called for outrage. Hell, maybe America's more fucked up than we realized if we're dumb enough not only to take this shit seriously, but also give it a sequel. Let's see how this movie shows what the flying hell is wrong with us, even if it doesn't in a way that wasn't intended. So let's not waste any time. Will you guys knock it off? This is...
All of a sudden you hear upstairs like, "Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh, my foot! Oh.
God damn it, Critic!
God damn it, Critic!"
Like Archer, you know? God damn it, Archer!
Wait, I was like, how did I hit him? Like, wait, you had your watch up? You had like oh my gosh. It's like, Cyril, stay right there. We're like, I'm studying like an anomaly, like studying like an impossibility right now.
The Purge.
Oh!
We see the film opens in the year 2022. Yep, we only have 8 years until this plan is put into place.
We're so close,
2 years
America.
ago.
It could happen any day.
I think it's more likely we'll be dressing like this in a few months than having the Purge in a few years.
What are you talking about? They were dressing like people were dressing like that in like the 2010s, for God's sakes. Have you never been to a freaking convention before?
Yes. And just to give you a taste of how subtle
Claire
and
de Lune.
non-pretentious this film's gonna be, here's a bunch of intense violence set to calming music.
Claire de Lune.
Because it's irony! They don't fit together! But will the future know that?
Doug, I hate to say it, but one of the most haunting film moments I've ever witnessed in my entire life was the assault scene from A Clockwork Orange. The dude was singing in the rain while having his way with this man's wife right in front of him. It's horrific. And honestly, if it's paired properly and and the story's good enough, why not?
And just when you're wondering how an intro could be any less subtle, one hell of a puzzle piece falls into your lap. Now it makes sense. Suddenly, so many elements come together. I can just see good old BjA getting high off his ass one night saying, I want to feel deep, but I don't want to have to use my brain for it. Where's that Purge script? The film opens with a home security salesman named James, played by Ethan Hawke, driving home on the day of the Purge and noticing quite an unrealistic amount of people still in their neighborhoods.
Getting one last walk-in before lockdown, huh?
Yeah.
Did you do the systems check I recommended?
Of course, no problems.
If I knew crime was gonna be legal in 24 hours, I'd probably tell my family, hey gang, how about that vacation to Canada? Just one of those friendly weekend visits to the Ned Flanders of North America. Though the more I think about it, they may not be the safest either.
It's a rape whistle.
What the fuck? People put out flowers to show they support the Purge. Others talk on the radio about what kind of crimes they're gonna do.
Pete from Northern Virginia, what's your Purge plan?
I'm gonna hunt down my boss. That son of a bitch has it coming.
Well, hopefully Pete from Northern Virginia's boss doesn't listen to the radio. Fucking idiot. And even guys in lab coats explain the totally believable way the Purge works.
We are inherently a violent species. Wars, genocide, murder. The denial of our true selves is the problem. The Purge not only contains societal violence to a single evening, but the countrywide catharsis creates psychological stability by letting us release the aggression we all have inside of us.
Oh, of course! Terrorists, drug dealers, embezzlers, people with aggressive mental disorders. All they needed to do was just let out a little aggression. It was so simple the whole time. Good lord, do you know how many crime shows would have ended differently if we knew about that from the beginning?
Yeah, there's one part about it that I will say is a little bit in terms of the logical makeup. But in terms of
if it was set more in actual studied science and everything, it would be a little less hard to suspend your disbelief for the concept.
Well, here's my thing about it is, I think they should have. I can't remember if they tied into it or if they have tapped into it in the other films, which I haven't seen. But I would use the thing, just be like, and also mental illness. Basically, there's no more mental illness. Why not? We killed them all. The Purge works. Yeah, exactly, because you know what that ties into. You know who had that kind of mentality, and yeah, exactly. And that's that right there, I think, is if they didn't tie into that, that's a big whiff with the logical concept, and that you could tie up this loophole, because it's just mental illness and all that. Yeah, all things would end differently if we would just be able to express ourselves. No, they literally killed all the people who were mentally unwell, because who was there to stop them? And honestly, that would be a good excuse. I mean, that'd be a good excuse for people to purge and get away with it. Just be we're cleansing our we're cleansing our species of the unwell and the unfit.
But it also wouldn't make any sense, because anybody that wasn't wanting to commit crime that barely survived a purge night would then be mentally unwell due to PTSD and shit,
Depends on sociopathic tendencies. I think this would make more of a society where we have an enormous amount of sociopaths left over.
Mm-hmm.
Because sociopaths wouldn't give a flying fuck about killing people. especially if they had the tools to do it. They would just look at it as, hey, fun times.
For me, if there was actually a purge, I wouldn't be killing people. I would be like fucking super villain robbing the rich people, you know.
Oh, me too. Easily. I would go to the federal stock exchange, and I would steal all the bearer bonds and drain them of all of their friggin' wealth. You know, and I would play robber baron. I would read this. I basically would be like, oh, this family got fucked over by this boiler room. Okay, here's your all's house back. Oh, you all lost $50,000 because y'all got lured into some pink slip bullshit scam. Okay, here's your $50,000 back. Plus an extra $50,000 on top of it that those assholes owe you. I would love to do shit like that. But here's the kicker. They actually tie up a loophole of why there's so much violence in the second and third, or especially in the second film. They actually explain a few things as to why things always end in violence, and it actually makes a lot more sense than just leaving it blank here. But at the same time, leaving it blank here raises those questions so that you can answer them later in a sequel, which they did. So anyway.
All right, Gus. If I'm going to cook for you, I need to know that you're going to kill everybody who will get in the way of distribution, especially yourself.
Before turning to such a violent route, have you ever considered hitting a pillow?
A pillow?
Yes. You'll find it strangely relaxing.
My God, you're right. My mental instability is suddenly leveling out. I don't even want to make meth anymore.
You can't tell the Breaking Bad reference. He released
Breaking Bad should have ended.
Yeah, this right here is oh gosh, he released this I think just before the final season ended. Which, God, that shows you how long it's been. Also. Probably my favorite hit a pillow joke that I've ever seen was from Analyze This. Billy Crystal was talking to Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro is this famous gangster who's suffering from panic attacks and stuff like that, and he's really stressed out. And Billy Crystal's just tell you what, how about you just pick up a pillow? How about you just hit a pillow? He's like, wait, you want me to hit a pillow? He's like, you really want me to just go ahead and hit a pillow? It's yeah. Just go ahead, hit the pillow, and then he pulls out his gun and shoots the pillow 7 times, hits the pillow, and he's like, "Feel better?" Yeah, I do actually.
Maybe I'll open that puppy farm.
I'm glad to hear it. Now, for God's sake, please put on a pair of pants.
Not until you promise me a
God!
Better Call Saul. So James has a wife named Mary, played by Lena Headey, who spends most of her time fighting off jealous neighbors.
Not everyone had the year you did, Mary. Some people are actually saying this neighborhood paid for that new addition on your home. Are people really saying that? Relax, it's just good old neighborhood gossip. Nothing to worry about.
I might be passive-aggressive, but tonight I'll be aggressive-aggressive.
Oy vey.
Ty!
Ooh, cookies. I hope you're hungry. Those cookies are crazy good.
They're lovely. Have a safe night, ladies.
Okay.
Bye.
Well, we established ourselves. Can't wait to show up, obviously, just for the climax. Woven like a quilt. But even before the purge, a little bit of creeping seems to be going around.
Bro.
Christ. You scared me to death.
Yeah, you really got me there, movie. For a second, I swore a tiny, 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 tiny person was going to kill her. Good fake out. This device was made by their son, Charlie, who seems to enjoy monitoring his heart rate.
Sorry, I forgot to take my vitals earlier. By the way, there's a slight deviation in my heart rate, but other than that, nothing to worry about.
It's never explained why, and never comes back into the movie later. It's just something he kind of likes to do.
Needlessly putting a quirk in. I talked about this during the Murder Drones episode that I reacted to earlier. When you needlessly put something that establishes a person as quirky or for a trope, for instance, for me it was, oh, if you see someone with cat ears on their friggin' headphones, you obviously know that person's quirky. And it's just like, it's just a trope that's nauseating at this point. It's like, anytime you see someone in fiction with, like, cat ears, it's just like, oh, obviously they're quirky. Hey.
It reminds me of someone trying to, like, make, like, their own roleplay character that they're, like, inserting into something, but they don't ever actually do anything but be like, my character does this and this. And then it's like, okay, how will that come into play later?
They don't know, and they don't care. They're just saying it just to say it. And this character right here, for no reason, like, it's like, my vitals. I have to keep track of my vitals. Like, why? Do you have, like, a condition or something? And he's just, like, if it would have came out that, like, he was a hypochondriac and he was, like, really worried about his health and this and that, but yet, because he was so safe because of the neighborhood they lived in and everything like that, and his dad's, like, a security expert, he never really had to, like, be, like very hyper-focused on, like illnesses or anything like that. So instead,
I don't know if they meant for it to be like one of those things where they were going to establish that due to the Purge, everyone is like less violent, but everybody is also fucking weird, but they just never really went further with it, or what?
Maybe. I don't know.
Quirks. Replacing character identity since the beginning of this movie. They also have a daughter named Zoe, who's moody because her dad does not approve of her 18-year-old boyfriend.
In English, I wrote a story about a man whose love is so powerful, cuts out his own heart.
You know, he should have cut off his own penis.
Zoe.
Eating dinner. No
Yeah,
penis.
come on, Zoe. Just not. And Charlie, don't encourage him.
Kids, do I have to savagely mutilate you during the Purge? I'm guessing this world just thinks we're all good parents for some reason, but I can totally do that.
Guys, look what time it is.
Well, it's later than I thought. All right, it's time for lockdown.
Wow, can't believe we almost missed that little detail. Oh, what? The Purge is starting? Pfft, whatevs. It's not like we're missing an episode of Chasing Life. Hell, the movie starts by saying it's an hour until the Purge begins. That means they have to drive home, talk to neighbors, start dinner, set the table, eat dinner, and prepare the security system during arguably the fastest sunset the town's ever known.
62 minutes, yeah, that's honestly, if it had said 2 hours, that'd have been a little more believable. Because doing all that within just about an hour, that's hard work.
Be crazy, but I would leave so little time in between mental stability and when death becomes the new selfie. I mean, I know the rest of the world relies on the honor system by not committing crimes the rest of the year, but somebody could start early, catching you off your guard, and then leave the country while the cops are shut down. Or do they respect the Purge too much to break the law?
I think it's because they live in a gated community and it's like a more protected area. Whereas if you're like in the big city and, you know, you get murdered and like, it's like an hour before the Purge and some asshat, you know, with a knife comes up and basically is just like not waiting for the Purge to like start killing. It's just like, yeah, I could see that, but
is not a test. Weapons of Class 4 and lower have been authorized for use during the Purge. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be unavailable until tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Blessed be our new founding fathers and America, a nation reborn.
The new founding fathers. I'm sure the speeches these new founding fathers gave fit in just as well as the other great leaders of the past.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Just kill some people. Right? Right? It's a good idea, right? And just like before, the film praises the effectiveness of the Purge, but never addresses mental illness, territory disputes, drug possession, or anything that doesn't fall under mere pent-up rage. They just say, it works.
The eradication of these so-called non-contributing members of society.
This night saved our country.
Crime is down. The economy is flourishing.
Because it works.
The undeniable fact is, this is working.
That's right, the Purge works. Just like how somebody can take $65 million and apparently make a film like Food Fight. Don't question how illogical it is, it just works.
The fact that Food Fight, that abortion of a film, cost $65 million. And this film cost $3 million. 3. Yeah, 3 million.
At least they did this slightly shoddy, like, attempt at this concept on a small budget compared to a lot of other films.
Yeah. Then Saw, I think Saw only had a budget of like 1.2 million. The first Saw movie, that's also very impressive.
Yeah, come to think of it, like, this movie was still in a time period before I joined up with you guys.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I wasn't really that critical of things that I watched. Like, up until I, like, joined the Renegades, pretty much. And then I started to think more critically about films and stuff.
Sorry about that.
Mostly just due to, like, watching the channels you all react to, you know, that talk critically about things.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, some things I agree with, some things I disagree with.
The only movies I straight up fucking hated, I think, before I joined you guys were The Village and...
with all respect, yeah.
The House of the Dead.
Yeah, that just absolute shitstorm of a film. Fuck you, Uwe Boll. Just like, it's like, I'm trying to do what no one else has done. And it's just like, yeah, but can you stop? Can you please stop?
Yeah, Uwe Boll, your films are so bad that idiots that don't know how to think critically about films still realize they're bad.
Yes, exactly.
Because I did. Before I ever tried to think critically about films. I was seen... like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen.
Oh my god, dude. I have seen so many shitty Uwe Boll films. Like, I honestly...
I've only seen the one, and I've avoided every single other one since then.
Anytime, like, okay, I saw Blood Rain. I saw House of the Dead. I saw Postal, and I saw what was the other one? I saw a little bit of Far Cry, and here's what I'll say: I really wish I could have like that 10 hours of my life back.
They seem to repeat a lot in this movie is release the beast.
Release the beast. Release the beast.
Release the beast, boys! Let the killing commence!
Quite a terrifying combination of words, right? Ooh, I think I saw that in a Jägermeister ad once.
Yeah.
Someone, please!
We see a homeless guy trying to hide from some violent kids by...
Does anybody hear me?
Screaming at the top of his lungs. That'll work. As the son decides to let him in. Yep, the little kid opens the door. It's not like the top seller of the security system would actually be around his security system. Buddy, all that high-tech gadgetry doesn't do much if you give in to its one simple design flaw.
The door must be closed!
Yes!
To make things worse, Zoe's boyfriend snuck in before the lockdown and tells her that he wants to just talk to her dad about allowing him to date her.
Mr. Sandin.
James, he hasn't gone. Henry hasn't gone.
I still believe the purge works, honey.
Talk went well. Hit a few bumps, but I think we can get past that.
Henry!
The boyfriend gets killed, but lo and behold, a group of young people approach the door who are chasing the homeless man down.
Dick or treat?
Okay, just don't pull your dicks out here. Like, it's full Hershey bars. Just get the fuck off my property.
You want to see my burger?
No! No! If a little bird ever asks you about that, always tell him no. Just be like, no.
Run away.
Yes. Just like, if it's standing there at the fountain, just be like, just get up, close your book, and go somewhere else.
Now, to this movie's credit, just when you think it's taking itself too seriously, a saving grace simply known as Henry enters the film. And by God, he either takes absolutely none of this seriously, or every single molecule of breath he takes on the set seriously. Either way, he is by far the most entertaining part of the film.
Yes, I agree.
Watch this.
He's fun. He's charismatic. That's the thing.
He's the best actor in the film. Like,
yes.
He plays the psychopath like really, really well.
And here's the thing. I'm not saying Ethan Hawke and Lena Headey are bad actors by any stretch. I've seen Ethan Hawke act. He can act pretty good. Lena Headey as well. Her work in Game of Thrones like stands up to most things.
I think it's just the parts they were written in this movie didn't leave them room to do much with.
And and you see, whenever you have a writer that just doesn't care and just like gives you cardboard cutout of characters instead of giving giving the actors things to latch onto, to give them motivations and to like provide background information and stuff like that, you tend to just get like very wooden acting. And unfortunately, that's what we have here from Lena Headey and Ethan Hawke. I mean, I like both of them. I've seen both of them, like, they perform very well, but anyway.
This goof.
We are some fine, young, very educated guys and gals, ready to violate, annihilate, and cleanse our souls.
He's got more ham than a Dr. Seuss book.
Yep.
Mr. and Mrs. The man you're sheltering is nothing but a dirty homeless pig. A grotesque menace to our just society who had the audacity to fight back. Please just let us purge.
He's not gonna release the beast, he's gonna release the squee.
If you don't deliver him by the aforementioned time, we'll release the beast on him and on you.
I just farted and it's gonna smell really bad.
Oh, so good, so silly.
We can enter any home we want, and we will want. As wanting is our will on this fine night.
What the hell does that mean?
You have until our provisions arrive, provisions which will help us break into your elegant home. Toodaloo, Sandins.
Well, now we know what Macaulay Culkin does to every family who watches Richie Rich. So the kids give...
Damn it, he's right.
...them an hour before they try breaking in to have them hand the man over. This results in the suspenseful part of the movie, where they go through the house with the power cut by the masked kids, which would make it hard to find the guy, wouldn't it? They're obviously not gonna call the cops.
Yeah.
And I'm not kidding. The search goes on for 15 minutes. 15 minutes of them just searching through the dark and us practically looking at nothing. I don't even know who I'm supposed to be scared for. The family, of course, are the main characters, and they're chasing an injured man crying for help. Where the hell am I supposed to be afraid? All the while, the children of the corny are taunting them, I guess, by doing non-scary things that are supposed to be scary because they have masks on. Well, we've tried skipping and we've tried prancing. Let's continue to do a full-on do-si-do.
Dear Mr. Sandin, meet me by your front door. I just need a moment, good sir.
But thankfully, in the middle of their searching, we get yet another scene from Dear Young Henry.
Tell me, why haven't you delivered the filthy swine to me yet? Are you protecting him? I surely hope not, Mr. Sandin.
No, of course not.
Jesus.
I'm sorry. I'm really trying. I'm trying so hard to be scared by this kid. But he's just so fucking hilarious. He's just projecting so much that he wants to be scary that it's actually kind of adorable. I just want to pinch his little supposed to be frightening cheeks.
Give us the homeless pig, you fuck!
Sorry about that. I don't condone that kind of behavior. Send out he or that will be thee.
Yeah, come on. You can trust a face like that on a night where all crime is supposed to be legal? How can this go awry?
I'll go get him.
You should do that.
Why are they even blowing all their time on this one damn house? They have one night of the year to do whatever the hell they want, and yet they spend it like 5th graders who just found out they have cameras on their phones. What person would spend so much time to get into a person's house for such a weak reason?
Critic, you might want to take a look at this.
Oh. What's up? Oh God! Film brain?
Hello, Mr. Critic. I heard you were reviewing The Purge.
Yeah? What about it?
You are aware that I reviewed the film on my projector series, and I was rather surprised that you didn't ask me to do a crossover with you.
I just did a crossover film, Brain. If I did another one, it'd be too repetitive.
Mr. Critic, the film you're watching is a dirty, brainless pile. A film that has the audacity to exist in our cultured, film-going society. And it deserves to be eradicated. Brutally, painfully, cripplingly.
Gee, she's really wanted to review this with me.
This is what happens when you try to split up Pinky and the Brain.
Will you shut up?
Mr. Critic, I just want to splurge as I am so entitled. Oh, please let me splurge.
Film Brain, I'm sorry, I can't do 2 in a row. Maybe another review in the future?
Oh, I understand, of course, but the 10 tons of dynamite I laid around your office does not.
I thought this place smelled dynamite-y.
Film Brain, what the hell?
That's right, I'm bonkers now. And if you don't do a crossover with me, I'm gonna detonate your asses sky high with my mobile phone.
Your cell phone's the detonator?
Oh yeah, there's an app for that now. And I must be allowed to comment on this film's cheesiness. Just allow me to unleash the cheese.
All right, Film Brain. Just give me time to write something up.
How long, Mr. Critic?
Commercial break, maybe?
Very well, but do not disappoint me.
All right.
Anything else?
No, I'm just allowing my scary performance to sink in.
Fine.
Toodaloo, Critic.
You have to do a crossover.
I can't, it'd be too redundant.
You'd risk your own life for that?
Trust me, I have an issue about being redundant.
Timing! What are we gonna
Damn
do
it,
then?
Casper. Well, shit. Never thought a film review could be so dangerous.
Is he doing anything?
Not really. He's kind of skipping and prancing about.
I think he's too distracted about how evil he's trying to be.
Good. I'm gonna keep reviewing while you guys think of a plan.
Right. First, we don't tell him about the splitting up of Pinky and the Brain.
They're not splitting up! They do eventually catch the guy, but something convinces them not to hand him over. And I use the word something because I literally have no idea what it is that convinces them not to do it. The daughter says nothing will be the same. Hell, even the guy offers to hand himself over to end all the trouble.
Save your children. Take me outside.
And yet for some reason, they decide to renege. I'm not saying that what they're doing isn't the right thing. I'm just saying their explanation of how they came to that conclusion is about as solid as...
Because it works.
Logic, it just works. The teens are done waiting and decide it's time to start breaking in.
You failed to deliver the homeless swine! That piece of filth that you are protecting exists only to serve our need to purge! So I bid thee farewell, sweet Sandy.
Can we just give this guy his own reality show? Like, survive a conversation without squirting milk through your nose? Or no, a Saturday morning show. A Saturday morning show where Henry reads to children. Please, God, somebody make that happen.
That would be terrifying, and I would watch every episode.
Coming to ABC.
Oh, God!
Reading with Henry.
Hello, children. Let's look at baby's first mythos. C is for Cthulhu, who sits in his palace in Ryla, one sight of whom would leave most of us gibbering, drooling, and screaming. Just let us purge.
Coming this fall to ABC Family.
Jesus Christ.
So they break down the high-tech security system, which was amazingly easy to do. How the fuck do these guys stay in business? And the teens come in for the search.
Oh boy.
It's scary because they're taking something dark and evil and making it innocent and fun. We had to run that in slow-mo just to make sure it wasn't too subtle. But just to make sure it isn't, let's play this over it too.
Cooper, come look at little lady Sandy.
Cooper, did you check under the bed? That would be the most obvious hiding spot.
Nah, I gotta find more security cameras to skip in front of.
Yeah, even though the Purge has been going on for several years apparently, nobody ever thought to maybe put on body armor during it. But hey, what's the point? The Purge just works.
Yay, I saw!
Double tap.
So they don't come back.
Also, I've never ever seen a shotgun with like an pump thing like that.
Well, it's basically made for like hip firing. It's basically, you know, you just like pull back and it pumps instead of you having to like do a reverse instead, or because gripping it like this, some people have complained that, you know, that it doesn't, it's not as effective as this, because this basically is a more natural, because, you know, lanterns, you know, we hold lanterns like this and all it. And honestly,
I've just never seen any other film that I can think of use a shotgun like with that kind of design.
I've seen a few action films use it,
or at least that kind of design of like a.
It's basically the pump
something
handle
you would put on it.
The pump handle, like it basically.
Attachment.
I've seen some action films use it, but anyway.
But just when he thinks he's gotten out, okay? Oh, Henry. Okay, this character hasn't let me down yet. Let's see how many traditional movie psychopath cliches we can fit into 30 seconds. Can we have the comforting killer? The whimpering lip over the beauty of his actions? How about the thankful gratitude for giving him such an experience?
Thank you for this unforgettable purge, Mr. Sandy.
There better be a loving kiss in there. And top it all off with the straining of his suit and hair, proving his look is far more important than the life of another. That's 5! 5 psychotic movie cliches in under 30 seconds! Oh my god, Henry, never ever die!
God.
The timing of that was perfect.
I know. It's just, once again, Doug's comedic timing can be, like, so perfect. And it's just like,
My god,
Henry, never die.
Henry, never ever die!
It's the scream.
Yeah. Doug, honestly, I miss when he used to scream like that. I know he doesn't as much anymore because, you know, he's not able to, but
I'm assuming that doesn't feel very good to do.
Probably not. It doesn't feel the best, I would say.
He killed the only enjoyable character in the film. He was filled with more ham than Ponyo. Great, now he's gonna drill our incredibly forced message into the ground. Oh, great, the characters who only existed so you would know who they are in the climax. Again, like a quilt.
The truth is, you're ours, not theirs. James is dead. Mary and the kids will have to do. Let's tie them up. We'll kill them right here. No. When your barricades came down, we saw an opportunity to cleanse ourselves of our hatred.
Yep, because that's how killers talk, everybody. I'm sorry I gotta kill you, but the cleansing of my mortal coil has to be addressed if I'm to be ethically absolved.
What?
You made so much money.
Well, it's just because of jealousy. That's the biggest thing. They were jealous. And because of that jealousy, they were angry. It's just like, well, dude, I hate to say it, but y'all paid for those things. Y'all paid for those security systems on your houses. It's not like you were forced to put them on there from them. You could have gone to someone else.
But he's not wrong. Just the way they're talking is really stupid.
Yeah, their conveyance is terrible. It's absolutely horrible. And also, this is the nightmare. This is the face I see in my nightmares every time I imagine I'm back working in retail and this Karen walks up to me. Yep. No, if I see this face in my nightmares, I'm screaming.
Off of us, and then you just stuck it in our faces. You all think you're so damn perfect.
That and your cookies are awful. Now we're going to kill you and both of your daughters.
Blessed be the new founding fathers for letting us purge.
So this world is like BioShock Infinite? Except with none of the cool stuff and double the hypocrisy? But the homeless man comes in to save the day.
Your call.
Just get it over with. Kill us quickly. Oh, for God's sake, just do it. Come on.
The movie's almost over, and Henry was the only entertaining thing anyway.
We were gonna play the rest of this night out in motherfucking peace.
So as you heard, she forces everybody to sit politely until the purge is over.
Bitch! A Lannister always pays her debts!
Did you hear what I said? No more killing tonight!
Now get the fuck
Get the hell out of my house.
Yeah.
See you at the neighborhood barbecue! Thus
No, more likely moving out of that house as soon as humanly possible to like a suburban area with like a population of like 4.
Yeah.
That's it. Or like some way out in the sticks. Like the place my dad has. My dad literally has a place where his back is to a mountain. His back is to a mountain, and there's one road in, one road out. That's it.
They all go home and life goes on as normal?
Just after 7 a.m., March 22nd, the annual Purge has just concluded.
The new founding fathers have released an early statement saying this was the most successful purge yet.
But wait a minute! It wasn't successful! Was it?
Shut the fuck up! This is one of the most pretentious ideas I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, who would actually be inspired by such a ludicrous idea?
Critic, Film Brain says he's done scarily frolicking.
Time's up, Mr. Critic. Where's my review?
Well, I kinda just finished it up, Film Brain.
What? You failed!
No. I just want you to finish it off with the closing thoughts.
Really? What would you have me say?
Well, the point of this movie is to prove one thing, that the Purge is bad. Well, since we already know that, and not in a million years will we ever let something like this happen, it's a pretty fucking pointless message. Maybe if it was a dark comedy, an exploitation film, or balls-to-the-wall satire, but it explains nothing about how this idea could work except that it works. Most of it is just showing people sneaking around a house like it's trying to be a gritty real-life situation. But since we know the logic is bullshit, there's no way to identify with it. The only bit of fun is that Henry character. He at least does something totally batshit crazy and memorable. But for everything else, it's just a pretentious wannabe protest film that has nothing to protest. It's like that kid who wants attention in your writing class, so he writes what he thinks is groundbreaking commentary when really it's just someone complaining about how there's nothing to complain about. It's a stupid, ridiculous mess.
Well, yeah, I can say that and... Wait a minute, you already said that!
Oh yeah, oops.
So I bid thee farewell, Critic. Unleash the cheese! No! Oh, bloody hell, come on! Yes, I am going to file a complaint later. All right, fine. Okay, let's do this. Let's kick the door down.
Well, are you done, Film Brain?
I'm starting to wonder why we were ever afraid of this guy.
Look, Film Brain, this is already in my top 10 most awkward life moments. What do you say we just call it quits for the night, huh?
Oh, hey, look, the safety was on. From hell's heart, I push a button and I blow the up.
At least Pinky and the Brain are still together.
Pinky and the Brain are not splitting up!
Pinky and the Brain are splitting up?
What?
Yeah. Pretty devastating news, huh?
Oh my god, I love Pinky and the Brain.
Yes, we're all traumatized by it. So much so that I bet you just want to go home, lie in bed, and gorge on Turkish delight, don't you?
Yeah. I think I'll do that.
Oh.
Why is it celebrity couples never stay together?
We have got to stop that crazy crumpet from ever coming back here.
But how? Once he figures out the truth, he'll just come back to finish what he started.
Tamara, are you familiar with the phrase self-fulfilling prophecy?
Uh-oh.
Pinky, are you pondering what I'm pondering?
I think so, Brain, but how can you have a duck dynasty if none of the people are ducks?
God damn it, Pinky. Can't you get at least one fucking thing right?
Oh, God.
Hearing brain curse.
Hearing brain curse is hilarious.
No, cut the music. Cut the music. I have put up with this bullshit for too long.
Bullshit?
You are the syphilis to everything I've worked so hard for, you miserable, poisonous sack of disease.
But, Brain...
Shut it, bitch. I could have had the world years ago if you didn't keep fucking it up.
Oh, dear.
Do me a favor and just die. Just die for the sake of all humanity. Oh, yes, that's right. Cry. Oh, that's all you're good for, isn't it, you little shit? Wait a second, Robbo.
What?
The fact he got Maurice LaMarche. Yes! Oh my god. Oh, my heart. Oh, you got Maurice LaMarche, Robert Paulson, both. I mean, why not? I mean, that's actually freaking amazing. And you see Doug architecting it back here like, yes.
Are you sure this is for a kid show?
Just say it. People have wanted to hear this for years.
Oh, really?
All right.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
You are pestilence. That's right. You're the pestilence of life. I don't usually believe in homicide. If I could go back in time to the moment of your conception.
I thought that sounded a lot like them. I'm like,
Oh yeah, that's actually them.
I wonder who they got to do this impressions. They're pretty good.
well, Maurice LaMarche, he's doing an Orson Welles impression, and Robert Paulson's just doing like his one of his zany voices. But gosh, I love both of these guys so much. But I met Rob Paulson in real life, and his voice is still immaculate even after all these years. Haven't met Maurice LaMarche, but gosh, it's so awesome. But what was Matthew Buck from Film Brain. And Andrew Keiko from Andrew Capel. So that was the Nostalgia Critic with the Purge. And while we don't have a Purge nowadays, we still kind of like are heading in a direction where decriminalization of certain things is much more prevalent. You know, like petty theft is decriminalized. In certain cities, grand larceny is decriminalized. Hell, in some places, assault is decriminalized, which is weird. And I hate that, man. I hate that that's like where we are in society, and I really wish that we could get back to where people still gave a shit. You know, we're like, but I don't know.
This is one of those things I think, you always talk about, like, why don't they remake things that had a good concept but weren't really that good,
Yeah.
Like, I think they could restart The Purge and make that first film, like, try to do a lot better job on certain things with it, you know?
Yeah.
I think it could end up being pretty decent if they did. Because, I mean, taking out all the crazy-ass fucking dialogue that doesn't make sense for anybody to say, you know, for one thing.
Yeah, and...
Like, at the most, there should be, like, you know, Henry, like, one crazy-ass fucking dude that talks like that. But having multiple people talking like that just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I agree with that. Let's see, there we go. So, it's an after credits scene. I didn't know this.
Who knew?
Huh?
Pinky and the Brain split caused world peace. So basically, by him causing Pinky and the Brain to split up, it caused world peace because it just works. Basically, taking the Todd Howard approach. Anywho, yeah. So I think that your idea of like them basically reworking it and making it more viable, like making it like just doing a better job making it overall. I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think that's what's needed for this. But once again, I will say the second one and third one, in terms of the Purge, much better than the first one. But yeah, this, the whole deal with the Purge as a starter, it raises some interesting stuff, but it doesn't really do a good job of like portraying it to its fullest. I guess it's just how it is. So anyway, I got nothing else for this. How about you, bud? Well,
really.
I think we've said all we need to say.
I'm trying to think of like ways to actually even do it differently, like kind of keep the same plot but do it differently and fix some of the problems. It's hard to think of like specific ways. I was kind of thinking like maybe whoever they're chasing at the beginning actually has taken like one of their group hostage to keep themselves from being killed right away. And so like they drag like a member of that group with them into the person's house. And maybe that group member is like trying to play it off like, I'm the victim here, he's trying to get me killed, blah blah blah, he's lying to you. And then their friends show up, and at that point they're like, you're part of their group, you know, like you're like he's been telling the truth, you're lying. And then the shootout occurs like between that person and like the dad or whatever, not like
the boyfriend.
Like
that was one of the stupidest subplots of that film. It's just like, what was the boyfriend gonna do? Just be like, hey, I killed your dad, wanna fuck?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
it's like, what? Oh my god. It's one of the dumbest plot points. Mm-hmm. And then of course, the whole deal with like, I would try and find ways to flesh out the characters and make them more three-dimensional. Because if you're going to get good actors to play these characters, give them something to do.
Yeah, if you're going to have the weird kid, have the kid's weirdness play into the plot more and stuff, you know?
Yes. For instance, like, have him be potentially like, I don't know, maybe have him be just, like, we don't, as a matter of fact, here's the thing. How's about we don't see the kid the entire film, and basically he's just a shut-in. He's a shut-in in his room because that's basically what the Purge has done to him. He's a kid who's grown up during the Purge, and he's afraid to go anywhere because of like the potential fear of like the Purge and everything. And especially during like Purge night, he like clams himself up and just like shuts himself off in his room. And the only way he communicates is like with his like little RC car thing.
Or rework that entire thing with the like, yeah, I'm taking my vitals and blah blah blah. Like have him do that for the whole family as like a precaution because they're going into a night where they can't call the ambulance if somebody has a medical problem or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, that would make a lot more sense to me.
He's worried about himself and his family, and basically And I would still, and that's also a subversion.
And even then, I don't think that would fall onto like the kid unless the kid was like older and like already studying like in like medical school or something. I think that would fall onto like the parents, like they take their kids' vitals right before the purge.
As a matter of fact, hey,
as well as their own, make sure like they're good and they don't need to go by the hospital today or something before.
How's about this?
Starts.
We know what the father does. The father's a securities expert. What if the mother is a doctor?
Yeah.
What if that's the thing? What if that's the reason why the kid's so obsessed with this because he wants to be like his mother?
That could cause like an interesting plot point too. Like if one of the kids has like a medical emergency partway into the purge night,
Yeah.
And like they're currently like not having to worry about not getting killed because they're waiting on, like they're waiting it out because like the people outside supposedly can't get in.
Mm-hmm.
But like the kid's having a medical emergency and the mom's having to like keep them alive with just household objects and shit,
That's another interesting one. And then of course the daughter. See, here's the thing I liked about like the interaction between the son and the daughter. It wasn't like batty at each other. They weren't like throwing barbs at each other. Instead, they worked together and they actually like connected. They actually, and that's a subversion because usually, you'd have the boy sitting there and he'd say something gross and the girl just
why don't you go suck a fuck?
Yeah, it's like you are so immature. It's just like get bent, bitch. It's just instead of just like them like constantly throwing barbs at each other.
I don't know why that just immediately made me think of Donnie Darko. How exactly does one suck a fuck?
I don't know. Ask the dude who sings Berserker. Do you want to make some fuck berserker?
Do you want some making fuck?
Oh, there it is. Do you want some making fuck? That makes about as much sense as like sucking a fuck. But anyway, I think we've said the F-bomb too many times.
Probably.
Anyway, so yeah, we're going to be ending it here, everybody. That was the Nostalgia Critic with The Purge. We hope you enjoyed. And what are your ideas? What ideas would you want to propose for a remake of The Purge in the future, if at all possible? But I guess until then, I'm Nate.
I am Nick.
Y'all be good people. Take care. Peace.